Hello YouTube vintage electronic collectors. This is Across the Dial. Now, I don't work on many vintage televisions, although I've owned quite a few over the years. I actually had, this is a Tatung, but I actually had a candle back in the early 80s. It was exactly like this one. Controls in the same place, chassis roughly the same from what I can remember. I remember I bought it I'm thinking for about $68, $69. It was on sale back in that time, 1981. Now here's the interesting story about this one. This one I bought on eBay, and it was shown as new in box, and it came in the original box, never used, doesn't work, and it was dead. And so I took a chance on it. I got it for a fairly low dollar, and the thing, it's mint. I mean, there isn't a scratch, there isn't a mark on it, there's no fading. And the neat thing about it, when I opened it up, I'm just going to turn it around here, absolutely no dust in it. And a CRT, when it operates, it attracts dust. This thing, this is what I think happened to it. Long story short, somebody bought it, turned it on, the fuse blew. There's a fuse here on the main board. Put back in the box. That's all we know. You know, just see, line it up a little better here. And it was put away until I got it. And so I opened it up, put power on it, turned it on, no power past the fuse. Put another fuse in. I know people say, oh, you should bring it up on the Variac and all this stuff. Waste of time. I mean, I was servicing these when they were brand new, CRT type televisions, and we didn't even have Variac in the shop. It was the biggest one in town. Anyway, this one here uses 120 volt directly on the chassis. There's no power transformer, number of dropping resistors. There was a metal capacitor can here, and it had a short circuit between ground on the second section. And that's what was blowing the fuse. So this thing would have worked a fraction of a second, then went dead. It was put away. Now, it had kind of an unusual can. There were two 200 microfarad, 200 volt capacitors in the can. I wasn't able to cross-reference it to anything or to find anything. So what I did to get it working is I put some wire leads over the terminal board and just built put several capacitors together to make up for the lost ones. I had these 100 microfarad, 450 volt capacitors, so they're way over voltage. This is what I had. I didn't want to put a lot of dollars into it. I'm going to look and see if I can find a can to put on the chassis to make it more original. But I think these old 12-inch black and white TV sets are basically unloved. You know? The small Trinitron monitors, I've got one here that I watch all the time. People love those. I think the Sony Trinitron is the best CRT TV ever built. That's my opinion. But, and I gotta say this, I think the CRTs are better than the LCD and LED. I know there's high definition and this and that, but for me, I get visual migraines. And LCD screens trigger them, and this is a common thing. I find when I watch LCD TVs, there's a lot of eye strain. I can watch these, no problem. I'm just going to turn it on. And I've got it hooked up to my Roku box through an RF modulator. Appropriate show.
Picking up, sir. She's still slow in responding.
Picking up speed and climbing. I'm going in closer. J4, you should be close enough for visual contact.
I remember seeing this episode back in the early 70s. I thought it was really cool. And I was actually, first time I saw this episode was on a black and white tube television, a 23-inch Electro made in Kitchener television console. So I saw all this stuff in black and white. I didn't even know, when I was a kid, I didn't even know it was in color.
J4, you are ordered to close on the UFO and attempt to force him to land. We want it brought down, or at least disabled until the other
You don't get a good. It actually, the picture looks really nice on this TV.
Armed with nuclear warheads. If he hits us with one,
Ooh.
he might damage us severely.
Nuclear
Perhaps
warheads.
beyond our capacity to repair under current circumstances.
There's a brightness control in the back.
Tractor beam. Lock onto that aircraft and hold it up there.
Bring it down a bit.
This type of aircraft might be too fragile to take our tractor beam.
Tractor beam on, sir. We have the target.
Aircraft is breaking up, Captain.
And I gotta tell you, back in the early 70s, I thought this is what we would be doing in 2020.
Yes, sir.
Try and beam that pilot aboard. Take over, Mr. Spock.
So I put that capacitors in. I put it, there's the first dropping resistor I changed because it was a little bit off value. And I turned it on, and this is the picture I got. Tweak the vertical linearity and height a little bit. I don't think there's much else to do to this set. I mean, it's basically a new TV set with a low-hour picture tube. Anyway, trying to keep the old stuff alive. Thanks for watching and listening.